Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Baxter Student Ambassador Program webinar. Presenting for us this time is Emma Sharkey, our other BSAP finalist from Algonquin College. Hi, Emma. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. So just before we get started, I'd like to do a quick roll call of some of the people attending today's webinar. We have Andrea Dixon and Donna Dixon. We have a representative from ACTA who will be viewing the webinar later today. And here at Baxter Media, we have Emily McClung, Ashley Rochford, and I'm Dan McDonald. So for everyone viewing the webinar on a computer today, if you have any questions during the presentation, just type them into the Q&A box or the chat box, and those questions will be answered after the presentation has finished. Okay, Emma, if you'd like to go ahead and share your screen, you can start whenever you're ready.
All right, good morning, everyone. Like Dan said, my name is Emma Sharkey, and today I will be presenting ACTA, the Association of Canadian Travel Agencies. Before I begin, sorry, one second here. I'd like to do a bit of an introduction to myself. So I'm currently studying at Algonquin College in the Travel and Tourism program. When I started the program, I didn't really know where I wanted to be within the industry. All I knew is that I wanted to travel and see the world. Within a few weeks, I actually fell in love with the tourism industry and decided that I'd like to further my education within the industry. So in the fall, I will be attending George Brown for event management and special event planning. That being said, I'm also an employee within the industry. So I work for a company called InStride Event Management. We do road races and different sporting events. I'm also an event captain and on-site event manager for Tulips and Maple Catering. I'm also a planner. I like to think of it as a strength and a weakness at the same time. I like to make to-do lists. I like being on top of things. I'm quite an organized individual. As a weakness, it's kind of seen that I focus on the smaller details of the big picture and sometimes forget that you have to look at the big picture in order to find those small details. So I do see it as a bit of a weakness, but it is also one of my greatest strengths. Back to ACTA now. Just a few things that I'll be covering today in my presentation. So what ACTA does, what the association is here for, there are 4 pillars. Who represents ACTA? Who ACTA represents? Their membership programs, and I'll be diving right into their education programming. As a student, I think it's important that ACTA does endorse their education within the country. Who is ACTA? What do? They are an industry-led organization, so they support their members, they get feedback from their members in order to make that relationship between the retail travel agencies and the consumers. They're a membership-based program, so they don't run their program, they let their members run their association. So they get the feedback from their members and they support what their members need in order to succeed within the industry. They represent the travel retail sector of the industry. So agencies, their membership programs do consist of different suppliers, different organizations along those lines within the industry as well. And they hold regular open forums and specified committee meetings, meaning that they're constantly seeking that feedback from their members in order to help them succeed within the industry. The 4 pillars of ACTA include advocation. So they advocate for their members to federal and provincial governments to make the industry remain an atmosphere that fosters a positive relationship between the travel retailers and their consumers. The next pillar would be education. So ACTA prides itself in educating the industry in more ways than one. Like I said, I will be diving more into the education pillar, but as a summary, they provide training to their members so that they can better serve the travel consumers and further develop their knowledge and their career within the industry. The third pillar is promotion. So ACTA promotes to the consumer the value that travel agencies can bring. One thing we're told as students going into this industry from people not within the industry, is that we won't need travel agents because everyone's just going to book online. But one thing that ACTA promotes is that booking with a travel agency and an agent specifically, they take care of those small details that the average consumer will most likely just look over, like travel insurance, or like the fact that they have a layover on their flight to their destination. At the end of the day, the agency and the agents are the ones that are going to find those small details and make the best of your vacation for you. The fourth pillar is connecting. So ACTA connects its members with the tools they need to succeed. This one kind of goes hand in hand with the education and training that ACTA provides as well. So who is ACTA? Who makes up ACTA? ACTA is made up of 7 regional councils, which represent the 7 regions of Canada. So that would be the Atlantic region, Quebec, Ontario, Manitoba, and Nunavut, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and the Northwest Territories, as well as BC and the Yukon. So the regional councils act as advising councils that provide the board of directors with direct feedback on the circumstances relating to the members. They make up also the board of directors. So the board of directors consists of 1 chair from the regional council, from each of the regional councils, as well as other distinguished veterans and current members of the Canadian travel industry. With all of their experiences combined, the board almost effortlessly supports its members because they have such broad experience within the industry. ACTA members can also run for places on the regional councils each year and eventually have a chance to fill a spot on the national board of directors. Something I found really interesting about ACTA was that their head office is based out of Mississauga. To me, it's just that if you want to cover and support your industry from coast to coast to coast, having an office based in central of the nation, it makes it easy access for everyone. And also on top of that, having those regional councils being able to reach out to their actual region makes it easy for the whole industry to feel like they are supported, even though it is just one small organization. Something else that ACTA offers that I have said I found really interesting is that they do endorse education. So recently we were fortunate here at Algonquin to have Fiona Bowen from ACTA come in and speak with us. She touched quickly on what ACTA was and who they're comprised of, and she really focused in on where we can go with our education. So what positions we can fill within the industry and where we can take our careers from there. And I thought that was something that students really needed to hear because this industry is so large and there's so many opportunities. There's so many open doors once we have that education to fill. So who ACTA represents? ACTA represents the retail travel sector of the industry. That they represent the travel wholesalers, tour operators, airlines, hotels, destination marketing, the cruise lines, railway, car rentals, on top of the agencies that are members. All in all, that means that there are roughly 1,200 members Canada-wide who are employing around 12,000 travel professionals in the industry. Just a few of their members here: JetPorter, Emma Waterways, Barbados Tourism Authority, Canadian Tourism Commission, Via Rail, Transat, and many, many more. Different membership programs that ACTA does offer are here. So the first one would be retail, and that is their largest membership program. The retail membership is mainly travel agencies, which means that the agency owner pays the dues for the head office as well as any other branches of that corporation. To qualify for that membership, the agency must provide a TICO, OCP, or CP British Columbia number. The next membership is the allied membership. So that means that it is a travel supplier who is applying for this membership, and they're looking to support and connect and build a relationship with Canada's travel agent community. The next one is the international membership, which means that it's suppliers that are not within Canada, or they're not based out of Canada, but they're looking to build that commitment and create that bond with the Canadian tourism industry to just further support them with what they need and adapt to what Canada's tourism is looking at. The next one is the Travel and Tourism Education Facilities membership, which would mean Algonquin. So they are offering, the facilities are offering a travel and tourism program, and ACTA would connect the educators and students with online learning materials and training programs, which I will be talking about in the next slide. The newest membership that was actually just introduced this year is the Independent Travel Agents membership. ACTA brought this in because there were agents that weren't part of an agency that were looking to be supported by ACTA and keeping up with the industry, but also we're looking to have that say and give that feedback that is so important to creating a positive relationship between the suppliers and the retail within the industry. So the independent travel agents are independent agents, home-based agents, and independent contractors within Canada. Education was something I thought I had to speak about for many different reasons. ACTA does have an online campus that actually I'm signed into to do my Air Canada certificate at the moment. But with that, they also have the Certified Travel Counselor exam. When Fiona was in speaking with us, it was brought up that now that we are in our fourth semester, second year, about to graduate, it was recommended that we do take the exam. The exam consists of 125 questions, 1,800 hours must be completed in the industry to take the exam, or a proof of around $600,000 in annual sales. The content on the exam would be destination information, definitions, product information, price calculations, basic knowledge that you would have if you've completed the qualifications for the exam. For the students that are looking to take the exam, they've actually reduced the number of hours that we need to complete to 1,600 so that we can obtain those hours working in either our industry, our agency simulation here on campus, or doing our different certifications online. One thing that kind of stuck out to a few students when Fiona was in speaking with us was the price of the exam. And it seemed like that extra cost that the students seemed to be a little bit hesitant on. And it was something that maybe if it was in the budget or just a consideration to ACTA would be to maybe fund the exam for students and have us pay for just to do the renewal of it, just because it is that extra cost for students. The second part of the education that I found was really interesting to me was that ACTA does support the community colleges, private vocational schools, correspondence programs that are offering travel and tourism. It shows that ACTA is committed to making sure that we are ready to go into the industry, fully prepared, and that they want us to succeed. And it shows that ACTA is willing to provide us with what we need to make our career exactly what we need it to be, and give us those tools to really succeed within our career, advance in our career, and just make it exactly what we wanted it to be. Just on an ending note, I'd like to thank Baxter Media for the opportunity. I'd also like to thank my professors here at Algonquin for all the support, and I'd like to thank ACTA for everything that they do for the industry and for the education of the up-and-coming industry partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Emma. So we'll take a few minutes now to answer any questions that people may have.
Okay.
Hi, Emma. It's Ashley from Baxter. Just a quick question from the beginning of your presentation. What was it that made you fall in love with the travel and tourism industry?
So Specifically, looking at everything, all the opportunities that were within the industry. At first, it was a little bit overwhelming. I didn't think I wanted to be a travel agent. I didn't think that was the right fit for me. I explored different occupations within travel and then kind of looked towards, okay, but what if I went into the tourism industry and different, whether it be accommodation or whether it be attractions, and dove a little bit further into that part of the industry.
Yeah.
And just because being in any part of this industry, really, you're giving and what you're receiving is gratitude from whoever you're working with. I've also heard from all of my professors that no matter where they were within the industry, they were given kind of such positive feedback from whether it be their clients, their coworkers, whoever it was. I just kind of got that feeling that everyone within the industry was kind of like a family, and that they knew everyone, and it was just a really, really positive industry to be part of. So yeah.
Great. That's great. Thank you.
Thanks, Emma. And Andrea asks, how do you think ACTA could consider funding or supporting the student entry-level exam?
So I know that on a student budget, it seems like that extra cost to, we're already paying for tuition for different parts of schooling, whether that be like rent or gas, whatever it is, looking at the exam and saying, wow, that's another $195 that I have to kind of work into my budget. Whereas if it was maybe part of tuition, or if they funded, the initial exam, and then we would just have to pay the renewal every year, I think that would be a thing to consider for ACTA, just because it is kind of daunting as a student to look at that extra cost, even though it's going towards our career in the long run. Looking at it right now, it seems like a large extra cost that some students just can't afford right now.
Right, okay, thanks. And the next submitted question is, what might be future challenges for ACTA?
Future challenges, I think, might be just the fact that the industry is so broad, and that as much as they do cover so many different parts, like with all of their different membership programs, people are, as much as we don't, not that we don't like to say it, but not that, and we're not told, but people are looking to do their own bookings. It saves them time, it saves them money, but I think a future issue might be that if people are going online, how can ACTA now kind of turn that bit online to show that maybe instead of booking yourself with this airline or this supplier, that turn that on to a travel agent. So maybe just the promotion online, and the fact that really try and get it online to, I know my generation we do everything online. Every little bit of our day is, I can do that online. So that, I think, is going to be a challenge to try and get our generation to really think that, no, we need to be booking with travel counselors, with agents, because we will be looking past those small details that an agent will bring to us.
Excellent, thanks. And I do believe that's it for the submitted questions, but I'd like to thank everyone that tuned into the webinar today. And Emma, thanks again for your great presentation.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Great, so thanks for participating in the 2018 Baxter Student Ambassador Program, and we shall be in touch.
All right.
All right, take care, have a great day.
You too.